it's working! Ah! Ah! Well, we all know this spot here, that's the Redback Spider car wreck. Okay, well, I've come back down into the bush, and this is a day after, well, I found all those weird things that were going on down here. I think the trap was one thing that was very curious, and also the raked over pathway. Maybe I can see if there's other people down here for the fact it was raked over. And as I worked out by looking at Google Maps, when I found the other car wreck, I wasn't that far away from the much grander area of car wrecks, and I'm going to try and get to that spot today. It's a nice cooler day, it's overcast, it's the last day of our winter, and I don't think I'd want to be doing this sort of trek in spring or in summer, because it just gets too critterific. You get lots of snakes, spiders, and things that aren't that comfortable when it gets warmer. It is stunningly beautiful here. Some people might find it to be quite haunting. I'm coming up to the bit where that little bridge was out, and I'm also noticing on the ground here, I'd say this is signs of native critters that have been munching and crunching on things. Yeah, there was lots of, well, what critters do from the rear end I saw yesterday. I can't say the word, you know what I mean. And I'm giving myself 3 hours to do this. Here's that little weird no bridge area. So that's an hour and a half in, an hour and a half out. And I'm very curious about the spot that was raked over, and I have a suspicion there's someone else down here. We'll put it this way, I was down here yesterday, I should find my footprints. If we find someone else's, well, what's that saying to us? Yes, the more I go along here, the more signs of life, and that's a classic sign of life. It may be wallaby. There's its size. If I put my hand next to it, someone can work that out for me. Here's that lovely little troll bridge. Very rustic and nice looking, isn't it? Okay, just go across this nice and carefully. I hope it takes my weight. Okay, we've got across. And I'm at the point where there was one of the raked over areas down in the valley. There's also that strange trap there. I'm calling it a trap, and as far as I'm concerned, if it is a trap, that's illegal in a national park. Here's a nice close look at this here. This isn't natural in any way. This has been man-made. Okay, and it goes down, maybe about half a meter down into the ground there. It's just a bit spooky if you ask me, and I don't like it. As for the footprint trail, well, what I'm looking for is a footprint that's going in this direction and not towards camera, because the ones towards camera would have been me yesterday. Man, it's hard to tell, isn't it? My eyes are too white fella. There's one of mine from yesterday. Nice and clear, okay? And it's going that way. That's the way I was headed, but I can't see any other footprints headed the other way. I'm just looking down at the ground still. Here's another spot, maybe I can tell there's a footprint going the other way. I really can't tell. I'm just not tuned in to looking at this well enough. And here's that big rock face again. And I won't use the camera here. I might use these little stepping bits that are here to get up this very steep incline. Well, I've got up that okay, and I'll just continue on along here. I think it goes okay for a while, and I would be getting up close to where that rustic car wreck was. That was up on the escarpment up there, where I could see this track off in the distance. Just looking up between the trees there, right in the middle of the screen, is a car wreck that I saw yesterday. I sort of found that by accident. I was off the beaten track, and well and truly, and sometimes you find the wondrous thing by doing so. And as I worked out, going by the geodata of latitude and longitude, and then putting that into Google Maps, that car wreck isn't far from where the other cars are, but it's on a different level, and that's going to be the complex bit, because I think this track turns into a very steep climb to get up to the other cars. And I don't know, I just take it bit by bit. That's the way you tackle steep inclines. That's what I want to see, those power lines up there. I know the car wrecks are under the power lines, so they're just going to be up there. Oh, okay, I'm just peeking into the bush there. I don't think they're far away. Just walking past some big boulders and stuff, because it's the edge of the escarpment, or the cliff if you might want to call it, that goes down into a valley. And this track is just at the moment going nice and easy up the side here. Okay, here's another bit of sandy track, and I haven't been here, but I can see a footprint here. That's a footprint going down into the bush. There's an ant there as well, and I'm starting to see this is where it gets a bit steep. Okay, I'll just have to take it easy here. Even up here the track has been raked over. I don't quite understand why I'm seeing that. Maybe there's something National Parks and Wildlife do to see who's coming and going. A bit of rubbish here. So that's telling me I'm right on the fringe of the industrial suburb that's right next to me. That was that drum down there, and the track loops around there. It'd be a nice BMX trail, wouldn't it? And it now doubles back on itself in a sense, in a zigzag style. This is the direction I need to go. Just seen some rubbish there, and there's another thing here I just spotted in the corner of my eye. There's something going on in there. What is that? This is really weird. Look at this. Tools. What? That's a mattock. Okay, let me just get this out. And there's a rake here. Well, there's another rake. That's the second rake that I found on this track. Of course, the other rake was from yesterday's video, and that's not a cheap brand either. I'll put it back. I suppose it's a hidey hole for stuff. Really weird. I tell you, I never found that before on a bushwalk. There's another bit here, and it's nice and steep, and it spins around and then doubles back around this way. Up there, my gut feeling is these wrecked cars are just over here somewhere. I'm just trying to creep a look along here. This isn't really part of the bush trail. As you can see, the escarpment here. Maybe it's on this next level up was where they're caught. But this way, I know they're not at the very top, but I can't see any wrecks down there either. I'll just persist on here a little bit more while it's safe to do so. Let's see what I'll find. I think I'm getting close. If I go up any higher, I'm going wrong. That's the escarpment where the cars are pushed over, and I do believe the cars are down there. I think I can start to see things that don't look natural. I'm just going to head down here. This isn't part of the natural track now, but it looks like it's being used. That might take me around to the spot I want to go. I need to go around this way. Well, I can tell you one thing I can see here. I can see it looks like BMX bike tracks through here. So that's why this track is a bit established. And hopefully the car wrecks are just up here. This is where I want to be. There's the power lines there. There's the edge of the valley, the nice cliff there where the cars are pushed over it. I'm sure those cars are just up here. I just hope I can get close enough access to them. Oh yes, I'm starting to see them now. Aha, there they are. Just down from the car wreck, it's down with the boulders. It looks like a front bumper section. It looks like it's plastic, fantastic, so this must be a fairly modern car. I can see other people have been through here. By the way, this is all being smashed up. It is a bit duck dodgers to walk through here. But lo and behold, here is a car. I always thought there were multiple cars down here. Maybe this is just the first one I found. And we'll take a good look at this wreck. Okay, here's the car. Obviously it's red. It's not a happy camper. It's had a bit of a tough life. I'm trying to work out what brand it is. Maybe that will appear soon. I dare say some people who know their cars would recognize it from what they've seen already. Just notice that it's got disc brakes on the rear. Might give away what this is. There's a car horn there, and I'm down, and I luckily got a torch as well, and we'll take a peek inside here at the dashboard. It's all smashed up. It's all upside down, of course. That's the foot pedals there. Automatic car, by the way. The shifter's there. Yeah, she's a write-off. I'll just check if the power steering's still working. Nah, it's gone. There's a close-up of the dash controls there. Maybe that will tell you something. Sometimes the steering wheel will show you the manufacturer. I can't see it because I'm reaching inside the car and I can't see the phone. Now the other thing I'm looking for down here, and it was something I was quite curious about, is can I see the setup of Redback Spiders and their webs around this car wreck, because this would be a perfect environment for them. It'd be nice and hot during a summer's day. I can see a bit of web just there and it's right in the middle of the screen. But I tell you what, considering this is like a Redback Spider perfect conditions, I'm not really seeing what I'd expect to see. Mind you, the spiders seem to not want to live in the bush, they like to live around houses, hey? Sometimes inside a car door there'll be manufacturer's plate or something to do with tire pressures that'll give it away. I think that's just a child-proof lock thing there. And I must remember to always make it tidy once I've played with it. And this here is the driver's side door, and I can't see those plaques that I really want to try and find. That's the rear lights upside down, and because the car's upside down I can see a bit more web here, but that's not Redback. That's some other spider. There's also some other web going across there, so spiders have made this its home. And maybe if you see the back here, and I'm just being very sketchy by standing on a log to get this shot, is that telling you what this car is? Maybe by grabbing this here, it's going to start to tell me some stories about the car. Okay, what can we read there? Europe, USA, Japan, great, okay. It's not screaming at me, the manufacturer, it's just got the multiple countries that this car would play in. I was hoping to try and close the boot and then I might be able to see like a manufacturer's name. It's just too hard to get it to go. Well, my gut feeling at the moment, I'm thinking Nissan. I know there'll be people screaming at me, no Leo, it's this, it's that, the other. Let's take a look at the front end of this car. And like most cars, on their brakes on the front end, there's some disc brakes there. A McPherson strut as well. There's the underneath of the car. The thing that's missing there is the exhaust system. It's a front wheel drive car, so there's no propeller shaft going down there. There's the sump of the engine there, okay. That'd be the gearbox here. Going out to your drive shafts that power the front wheels. This is the other front wheel, and what I notice here is the drive shaft is snapped, I dare say, from the experience of going over the cliff, and the rest of the shaft is just there, right in the middle of screen. I'm right at the front of the car. That's the radiator that keeps the engine nice and cool, and there's a fan there to assist it. This is just below the front headlight, and it's upside down because the car is, and there's the real car horn. So what was that other horn that I found? It might have been a bit of a ring-in. Just looking at what's running off the engine here, and to me again paints a picture. It's a more elaborate car. This is the crankshaft here. Alternator, I think that's air conditioning. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that one down there is the power steering. Yeah, so to have all that going on there has painted me a bit of a picture of what this car's about. I can see spiderific action going on down there, which is nice to see. Yes, actually the more I look around here, the more spider action I can see, either redback or some type of widow spider, I dare say. I'm actually thinking that's the false widow spider, it's not redback. That's what I'm thinking. And I say that because I think that's one of their egg sacs down there. They're a little bit different to a redback spider. Anyway, I think I've showed you enough of this car to quell your curiosity. I'm actually very pleased I came down to take a look at this. And what I'll do next is I'll just traverse along here a little bit further because I know there potentially may be more cars up here. Well, why is the car here? It was most probably an insurance job, or some ratty person stole it and just for fun driven it off a cliff. Hopefully they weren't in it when it went off the cliff. And if I traverse around here a little bit further, maybe we'll find something else, and maybe we won't. Well, I found a 44-gallon drum. It's all rusted out, and this would be the prime suspect area where if you're going to find a redback spider, it would be here. Let's see if I can just push it over, see what's inside without killing myself. Well, from that there, from my initial looks here, it looks pretty clean. Maybe I'll say it like this: if that rusty old 44 was in my backyard, it would be totally infested with redback spiders, but down here it's clean. I'm just traversing on very carefully a bit further, and this would be getting very close to the zone where the other car was dumped, and it's down in the valley. That was the car from the other video. I know I'll keep saying that. It probably makes no sense when you watch this video. There's something weird there. It looks like something left over from the power line infrastructure, maybe from a bit of a bygone era, but it's just down here, dumped in the bush. I'm just trying to head down to the edge there. I don't want to fall over the edge, and maybe we can look down and see that other car wreck. But I can't guarantee you that yet. Just got to be a bit careful here because I know I'm right on a very edgy section. Okay, I think I've pulled it off for you. I haven't made a liar out of myself, I hope. And down there, that's the car wreck that I looked at in the other video. It's very different from up here. And from the wonderment for the fact that when you take video on your phone, it gives you like a latitude and longitude, I know where that is. So I can walk around without being a total fool, which is very unusual for me. I think I will very carefully start to head back out because I think I've seen enough of what I want to see. I have to admit, this is very enjoyable to do. I took my time today. I wasn't puffing myself out. And it's just the wonders of the natural bush, which is right next to the suburbs where I live in Sydney. I mean, I could visit this every day if I wanted to, but I don't. Weird sort of fungi things like that. Getting over this log here. And that's the car wreck again. And I know how to get back up to the top road, I hope. I'm just getting back onto the main track. You know what's around here, and it's what I saw in the other video. And I keep hearing them. It's those black cockatoos. Oh man, I hope I can see them again. Like I saw yesterday, they were spectacular. I can see one. It's down there. Oh man, they are here. How can I do a mating call? Yeah! Yeah! I don't know if you can see it, it's right in the middle of the screen there. They're massive birds. Yeah! Oh, it's working! Yeah! Yeah! I can hear white cockies as well. Maybe my mating call scared them off. Those black cockies are down there somewhere. I can hear rustling in trees and like they're picking the bark. Maybe a few more mating calls. Yeah! 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 Well, it looks like I've got to go home and work on my black cockatoo mating calls. I'll just get to the very top here and show you what the car wreck looks like when I look from the top of the cliff. Okay, here are those power lines that traverse the valley here in spectacular form. I don't know how they pull off that bit of engineering, but over the edge there, and it's a very dangerous edge. Hopefully we'll see that car wreck. And I'm being very, very careful at the moment because I'm right on the edge of quite a drop off here, and we will see the car wreck down there, I hope. Okay, that's what it looks like from up here, and the strange thing is I think I can see a car wreck just below it, but I couldn't see it when I was down there. Maybe it's tricky for you to see. It's shepherded by rocks when I'm down at the red car. Oh, I'm not going back down there again. I'll just go in closer and put a circle around where I feel there's another car. There it is there. I hope I'm right, and I hope you can see that like I'm seeing it. So back in the day, the fun would have been to tear ass a car down here, you know, whooshka, straight off over the cliff there and down into the wondrous valley. It might be worthwhile to take a look at this sign here that's on the track near the cliff. It's just about bushfire safety. I was hoping to see something about a national park. And from my understanding, as soon as I go down there and down into that valley, well, I'm entering into national park zone. Okay, I'm now at the top of the valley. I'm not pooped out like yesterday. And very enjoyable walk. It's not too hot. It's the last day of winter for me here. I don't think I'll be doing that walk in summertime somehow. Now, seeing all those galahs down there again now explains to me why I think the industrial area up here has galahs everywhere. And I'll try and get pictures of those so you can see them. Anyway, I have quelled my curiosity, taken a look at the car wrecks, and I hope you enjoy looking at them and can ID the car that I showed you in this video, because I certainly can't. Yes, walking down into that bush area there has had me looking very carefully at maps and rules about what you can and can't do in national parks. Maybe I'll put some maps up here and I'll try and overlay the area which is green which determines a national park area versus just other bushland. Mind you, when you're down on the track, there's no sign saying you're about to enter a national park. That doesn't exist down on the track. I'll just ID some things here for you. The Redback Spider car wreck is outside the national park. I can geotag that, that's okay. I'll also ID where the trap is, or roughly where the trap is. I'll roughly point out to you where the older car wreck is. That was the one from the first video. And I'll point out to you where the red car wreck is. And with those 3 items, because they're within a national park, my understanding is I can't geotag those and tell you exactly where they are. Now, I'm pretty sure that there is some people going down into the national park there with their mountain bikes, BMX bikes. Let me just read you some things here from National Parks and Wildlife. Bikes are not permitted on walking tracks or in wilderness areas and nature reserves except where signposted. Many parks operate a no sign, no ride policy. Well, that may apply to the area where I just walked through because there was no sign, and that apparently means no ride. And it says stay on existing trails, don't create new ones. Well, I definitely saw the creation of new trails and new tracks up in that last part of the walk going up the escarpment because those new tracks are nowhere near where the trail is mapped out on Google Maps. There's someone I know who works for national parks. It'd be a fantastic job, wouldn't it? And I explained to them where I was, and I showed them the trap with the sticks and the hole in the ground, and also the raked over path. And in showing those pictures, it created more questions than really answering anything about what was going on. I was told a few things, and maybe things that I can't disclose in this video, but National Parks and Wildlife staff will smooth over tracks to work out who's coming and going within a national park. But they won't use a rake to do that process. That little troll bridge was also strange. It looks like it was just made up of old pallets which had been dragged down into the park. In fact, there were many things that were fairly sketchy going on down there. I did take a look at a bush track that enters the Barara Valley National Park on the other side of the valley, and lo and behold, there is a sign there that indicates to you what type of area you're entering into. It also shows you some of the things you can and can't do. But what I failed to find is this type of sign on the other side of the valley. I really think a couple of simple signs in the right place will solve 1,000 problems. I've just got this feeling this story isn't over yet. It needs some more investigations and a closer look at some other things going on down there. Anyway, I will finish off here and we will take another look at the steering wheel of that red car. And I think if you look very carefully, you can see a manufacturer's name on the steering wheel. But boy oh boy, do you have to look very carefully. Now I wonder who got the brand of this car correct.